So Psalm 91, so it was discovered amongst the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was in a jar with 4 other psalms. These 4 other psalms turned out to be exorcism psalms. Why would it be grouped with exorcism psalms? We've all read this scripture, and she asked the question that most of us had asked at some point in time, which is basically, why do bad things happen to good people, that trust in the Lord? If he is our refuge and we're protected from evil under his mighty wings, why do all these horrible situations just constantly find us? My short answer was that God promises us that we're going to face trials throughout life. And I gave her the example. I said, just look at the disciples. They were following Jesus the whole time. Every one of them went through horrible situations, died horrible deaths. They were persecuted. It was ridiculous. I told Miss Rosemary that, hey, I'll dig into it a little further, see what I can find. So this is Psalm 91, the whole chapter. So it says, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him I will trust. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler," which is someone who catches birds, right? "And from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and your buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in the darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you or your dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation." So Psalm 91, believe it or not, so it was discovered amongst the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was in a jar with 4 other psalms. Those other four other psalms weren't in the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible. These 4 other psalms turned out to be exorcism psalms. Why would it be grouped with exorcism psalms? That part doesn't make any sense. When we read, we don't see any devils being cast out. But if you were a literate Hebrew from that time period, and you read this, it would take on a different flavor. You would know that words like pestilence, which is Deborah, destruction, Keteb, the arrow that flies by day, I don't know, good luck, Hes, Yuap, Yaman, and terror by night, Pakad. These are names and titles and epithets of Canaanite deities. So to an Israelite, the Canaanite deity was a sinister, evil spirit, a power of darkness. So Psalm 91, it had no superscription preceding it, which was, you'll read sometimes that a psalm of David to the chief musician, something like that. So it doesn't have any of that. In the Septuagint and the Dead Sea Scrolls, you find that it's attributed to David. In the Hebrew, some of David and Solomon's psalms, they carried a certain undertone of having power against evil forces. It was kind of like whenever David, he used music to soothe Saul's torments. Remember when Saul was being tormented by the evil spirit? So he used music. So it seemed that David and Solomon had some powers of some sort to help with those spirits. So Psalm 91 is a prayer of protection and thwarting of the powers of darkness. This basically was an incantation, and it fits that description really well, actually that definition, that ancient Jews would recite to protect themselves from evil spirits. So what's interesting also is that you never see a demon being cast out of anyone in the Old Testament. It never happens. Matter of fact, demon is only kind of talked about a couple of times in the Old Testament. It's usually referred to as Shadim in the Hebrew. In Psalms, it talks about it, and like Deuteronomy 32 kind of speaks also. So, why is it that when Jesus comes on the scene and starts casting out demons, that people automatically think that this is what the Messiah is supposed to do? Where does that come from? Well, Jewish traditions hold that David's Psalms had exorcistic powers, and the Messiah, which is from the line of David, would be able to cast out demons, which is linking the Old Testament to New Testament practices. In summary, Psalm 91 is a prayer of protection and thwarting of the powers of darkness that ancient Jews would recite to protect themselves from evil spirits. And we can definitely stand on it as well, put our complete faith in God to be our refuge. But we should understand that Psalm 91 is not telling us that we will be spared from the trials of life,